Hey guys, what's going on? It's Vic here, back with another mock draft, but this time I'm doing a collab with GC Sports. Hopefully the audio will be a little bit better than my last video. It was still a very fun rebuild to do with my brother, but this time I'm doing a collab with GC Sports. Make sure you go check out his channel. He does all sorts of basically podcast and NFL videos as well. I think it's pretty fire. But anyways, I'm going to bring him on. Say what's up, GC Sports. You're on the channel. We're live.
What's up, guys? It's GC Sports here. Really excited to be doing this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're going to be just doing alternate draft. We're going to quickly kind of go through this. And, yeah, it should be good from there. Just really quickly, I'm checking this out. It's working. So, first on the clock, I'm going to be first. We're just going to quickly be going through this. I don't think we're going to be doing, like, in-depth analysis. If you want to add 1 or 2 points to it, GC Sports, you can. But we're just going to quickly burn through it. So, first on the clock is the Panthers. There's been a lot of buzz about C.J. Stroud dropping, and Bryce Young is the only consensus QB1. So I'm going to take Bryce Young for the Panthers at number 1 spot. If you have any notes on that, you can comment, or you can just move on to pick 2. What you got, GC Sports?
Yeah, I completely agree. Bryce Young is going to be the number 1 pick with how much the Panthers love him, especially the Panthers owner. But now at number 2 with the Texans, there is a chance that the Texans don't even take a quarterback with this pick.
Yep.
As their new, I believe it's offensive coordinator, is defensive focused. He's the defensive focused guy.
DeMeco Ryans.
Yes. But, however, I don't think they're going to roll with Davis Mills. If they don't take a QB here, then they could take one at 12. But who would be there? Will Levis, unless someone trades up. So I'm still going to have them going with C.J. Stroud here at 2.
That makes sense to me. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It's just Will Levis is the favorite to go QB2 as well now, which is really weird. The Vegas has him at 8.5 for the spread, which is crazy. I don't think he is, but they could trade out of this, go Will Anderson. They could go a lot of things here, but I do think this makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, pick number 3 for the Cardinals in the clock. A lot of people have trades, and I'm just letting you know we're not doing trades in this draft because it's just way too hard to predict. Unless it happens before the draft, I'm not doing it. It's just way too much to predict. But anyways, the Cardinals are going to have to go Will Anderson here, not Jalen Carter, because they do run a 3-4 scheme. Just makes the most sense and the best defensive player in the class, in my opinion.
I agree as well. Now with the Colts at number 4, they're going to go QB, I think. I think everyone thinks that. However, it's either going to be Will Levis or Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson had an awesome combine and looks like he has huge potential in the NFL. However, the Colts organization really loves Will Levis. So it depends on who they really like in Will Levis or who they're leaning towards or looks better to the public in Anthony Richardson. So I've always had Anthony Richardson going here at number 4. But, yeah, I'm going to stick with it, Anthony Richardson, because I personally think he's a much better QB than Will Levis, especially with the age. I believe Will Levis is, 24, 25?
Yeah, I think Will Levis is 20. He will turn 24, I think, by the time the draft passes. I think he's 23 right now. But honestly, there's so much hype around Will Levis. I think you should have to buy into the hype. But I still do agree with Anthony Richardson. It's a toss-up between the two. You never know, but it's still a good pick overall.
Yeah, so I have Anthony Richardson going at number 4 to the Colts.
Okay, pick number 5. A lot of people have Devon Witherspoon going here, but there's so many other needs that they need just because Tariq Woolen broke out so hard last season. And they could honestly go Peter Skoronski here too with a guard, but they had Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross hit both last year. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, Jalen Carter's the obvious choice here. But believe it or not, the Seahawks GM has a huge problem with character issues. So if the player does not have a good quote-unquote character, they're just out on them. They don't like it. I mean, of course, that doesn't apply to the Raiders. They love that. But anyways, I think Tyree Wilson is going to go here at 5 to the Seahawks.
Yeah, if it was me, I would have Jalen Carter as the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. He deals with these guys a lot with troublemakers, and but
that's probably
Tyree
why the GM
Wilson
wants to get rid of them.
Yeah, if they don't want another troublemaker on the team, Tyree Wilson 100% makes sense here. A lot of people are even saying Tyree Wilson is better than Jalen Carter. I personally don't agree with that
They're
he's better.
They're a little bit different positions, so that's hard to compare.
Yeah. And then with the Lions here at number 6, They trade away Jeff Okuda to the Falcons for a 5th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And so they really need a need at corner. They have a need at the corner position. However, they also need a duo with Aiden Hutchinson. So with Jalen Carter here on the board, they could go with him. However, do they want another troublemaker? I don't know. So I'm just going to continue with my pick, and I'm going at number 6, the Lions. Corner, I have Oregon, Christian Gonzalez. They need a corner, and he can hop in as a number 1 corner if they need him.
I completely agree with Christian Gonzalez going off the board as the first corner. In my opinion, he's my favorite corner over Devon Witherspoon, and I feel like there's a lot more hype around him, so he will get picked first. Now, at pick number 7, it's just obvious. The Raiders love having troublemakers on their team, and having Jalen Carter, one of the top 2 prospects in the entire draft, fall to you at 7, easy. It's got to be Jalen Carter at 7 to the Raiders.
That does make sense. I don't know if McDaniels would want him. They are doing their due diligence looking at him. He has canceled every team to meet who's out of the top 10. So the Raiders taking Jalen Carter at 7. If he falls to 7, it 100% makes sense. Mm-hmm. Although they do have a need at corner, and Devin Witherspoon was a teammate with Nate Hobbs, who is a Raider at corner. But now with the Falcons at 8, I'm not going QB. I'm telling you that right now. They have Desmond Ridder. However, Devin Witherspoon is here on the clock. They could get a tackle or even a receiver. However, they went Drake London in the first round. I don't think they're going to do that. So therefore, with the 8th pick, I was going to go with Tyree Wilson. However, he's already off the board. So at number 8 here, the Falcons. I'm going to go with that same position, but I'm going to scroll down more and head on over to edge rusher Nolan Smith. As you have said throughout, the Falcons are very interested in him. I don't know if he goes this high, but with Tyree Wilson off the board and the Falcons love Nolan Smith, he could definitely go here at number 8.
Love the pick, and I also love that you've been seeing my other mock drafts too. I've noted it so many times that the Falcons are in love with Nolan Smith. He's really far down the PFF board, but he can honestly sneak into a top 10. I would not be surprised if that happened. 2
100%.
back-to-back Georgia players going off the board on the defensive line is crazy. But now we got the Bears on the clock, and I think it's just got to be Peter Skoronski. He's versatile between guard and tackle. Sure, he has shorter arms, but so did Rashawn Slater. Like, it doesn't matter at this point. I think it just needs to be helped for Justin Fields. Justin Fields has a weapon in DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney now. Cole Kmet has development, but you need to work on that offensive line, and Peter Skoronski is going to be the guy here at 9.
I've always had Skoronski going to the Bears as well. I completely agree. If Jalen Carter fell past the Falcons and Raiders, could we see the Bears picking him up? Possibly. But with Peter Skoronski on the board, I 100% agree. Peter Skoronski to the Bears. Now with the number 10 pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. I said in my mock draft video on my channel, they have a great team. They did lose a ton of players. They need to fill up those positions. However, overall, great team. They paid Jalen Mills. My goodness, that's funny.
Jalen
They
Hurts?
killed Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's the
They
guy.
paid him a ton. And he's a great QB. They got a great team overall. When you look at their offense, they have great offense. Their defense, they do need help on the defensive line and corner. A ton of their players are old. However, when you look at the offense, they have a great offense, except one position. Their starting running back is Rashad Penny.
No, don't do it, bro.
And
Don't
so with
do
the
it.
number 10 pick,
Don't
I'm
do it.
selecting the Philadelphia Eagles take running back out of Texas, Bijan Robinson.
That's disgusting. Ew. Running back in top 10 is just, as a Ravens fan, we don't re-sign running backs. We recycle them. So that's not something we do in the first round, let alone top 10. It grosses me out, but Bijan does. Yeah, Bijan Robinson's crazy. Yeah, I will. It's not a bad spot here. Passing on Devon Witherspoon is kind of crazy, but still, it's a good pick. So at pick number 11, we got the Titans. They need basically everything. Their entire defense is just Jeffrey Simmons and Kevin Byard. Their receivers, you traded away A.J. Brown to draft Traylon Burks, which was the stupidest thing ever, rather than just paying him. So now, and they also cut Taylor Lewan. I don't think they have Ben Jones anymore. They have no offensive line, no receivers, aging quarterbacks. Malik Willis honestly sucks. Whenever I watched him, he was no way impressive. He would just run around in the pocket and then miss throw. So I think they're going to have to go offensive line here as Devon Witherspoon's fall is going to continue. They're going to go with Paris Johnson Jr. out of Ohio State at pick number 11, and the Texans are on the clock.
I 100% agree with Paris Johnson. He just looks like a Texan. Not the Texan, the Titan. You put that on him, and he looks like he would look really good in that Titan uniform. Now, with the Texans on the clock, I would have them go receiver. And as you scroll down, I feel like this has been everyone so far. Jackson Smith-Njigba on the board. They want to help C.J. Stroud. They have basically no receivers other than John Mechie, but we don't know what he's going to do with the cancer that he got. But the Texans, I have them selecting Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Now, this Devon Witherspoon slide and Will Levis slide is getting pretty huge here. Imagine if the Jets just took Devon Witherspoon with Sauce and their entire defense. That would be crazy, but they have other needs. Linebacker isn't really here. The next best thing is Jack Campbell, and he's more of a second-round pick. And also, they could go tight end here with Dalton Kincaid on the board, but also, I feel like out of all things, they would need tackle. Mekhi Becton is injury prone. They need their real left tackle because Mekhi Becton has slid to right tackle. So I'm going to go with Bordrick Jones here out of Georgia. I know I'm passing on Anton Harrison and Darnell Wright, or Darrell Wright, I believe it is. Yeah, Darnell Wright. But I just think he's a bigger guy, which they like, especially since they have Mekhi Becton. So Jets are going to go with Bordrick Jones out of Georgia.
Makes sense. I do also have them taking tackle. Mekhi Becton, I don't know what they're going to do with him. It's crazy that he's superstar in Madden. Madden's just crazy. But now with the Patriots on the clock, they've been looking at one guy in particular for a very long time, and I personally think they're falling in love with him. And we also need the position. We would have a crazy unit if we added this guy. We're going to head over to receiver and add wide receiver out of USC, Jordan Addison. Patriots would have Devontae Parker, Tyquan Thornton, Jordan Addison, Juju. It would be a crazy unit. All underrated players. However, put them all together, have a good QB. I think we should roll with Zappy instead of Mac Jones. That's my personal opinion. But add those receivers, and I think we'd have a pretty good receiver unit.
Crazy that you're passing up on Devon Witherspoon here on the slide. I mean, it's still a great pick, but damn, Devon Witherspoon on the slide is going crazy. I could see Will Levis going to the Commanders here, and it's crazy that both of these guys are sliding this far. But the Packers are on the clock. They're not going Will Levis. Devon Witherspoon, I feel like they can just give a big middle finger to Jordan Love and just go with Devon Witherspoon. You picked Eric Stokes in the first round, but I just don't see them going DB here. And even though Devon Witherspoon's here, just because it's not a huge position of need, I'm still going to go with Dalton Kincaid, the tight end out of Utah here for the Packers. And yeah, you're on the clock for the Commanders.
I agree with this pick, Dalton Kincaid to the Packers. By the way, that was a great video, Kincaid to the Packers, that you had in Madden. Yeah. Now the Commanders on the clock. I think they're going to roll with Sam Howell. I don't think they're taking a QB. Really? So Devon Witherspoon is still on the board. Or they could go offensive line. You don't never know what those Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them.
Whoa, might get this video taken down if you call them Redskins.
But I don't know. With Devon Witherspoon on the clock, I think they gotta take him.
Yeah,
so Devon Witherspoon.
They have Kendall Fuller, but really nobody else outside of that. So I would take that. Now, the Steelers are absolutely crying because one of the top DBs just got taken right in front of them, and he almost fell to 17. And you could go a lot of things here. They need line. They could honestly, another edge rusher with TJ Watt would be crazy. I don't think they're going to go that route, but they have Joey Porter, Deontay Banks on the board, a bunch of DBs. I think they're going to go Joey Porter out of Penn State, and they're going to settle with that.
Yeah, they're in love with that guy, and he's a great corner. I completely agree with this pick. Now with the Lions on the clock, in the first round, they went with Christian Gonzalez. Now with their second pick in the first round, they're looking at this guy, and I personally think they love him. I have edge out of Iowa, Lucas Van Ness, heading over to the Detroit Lions.
That is crazy.
With Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I like that. Christian Gonzalez and Lucas Van Ness both going to the Lions. What a huge improvement on defense. Anyways, the Buccaneers. Will Levis is here, slides to 19. Why would you not take him? It's crazy. His slide will not be this big in real life. I just feel like we both didn't know where to put him.
Yeah, especially since we're not doing trades. There's
Yeah.
not like a lot of teams before that. A lot of teams don't need QBs this year.
Maybe I should have honestly put him on the Titans at pick 11. I should have maybe gone that route, but he's here at 19, so we're putting him there.
If Will Levis was here, I would have drafted him to the Seattle Seahawks. But since he's not here, Seahawks on the board now. Their needs listed on here are guard, center, and defensive line. They do need defensive line, 100%. And you see Kalijah Cansey here on the board. And he's a really underrated guy. He could be a future Aaron Donald since he beat lots of his records. So, 20 to the Seahawks. Let's go ahead. And they took Tyree Wilson in the first round. So now let's go ahead and take defensive lineman Kalijah Cansey with their next pick.
Stacking out the defensive line already. It feels like there's so many teams with 2 first-round picks that it really makes it difficult to separate them all. But now we're swapping from odd to even because the Dolphins do things. But I get the Chargers and you're going to get my Baltimore Ravens. So the Chargers on the clock. Honestly, not many receivers has fallen off the board, and last year, they just flew off so quickly. All of them dropped, and I feel like that might be a mistake here. But also, the Chargers could go a lot of things here. They've been talking about cutting Khalil Mack because of his cap hit. J.C. Jackson honestly took a step back last year, and he was injured. You could go DB. But they do need a separator. Keenan Allen's getting old. Mike Williams, he's honestly overrated. Like he's all speed and he's just inconsistent with his contested catching. I'm going Quentin Johnson here. This may seem weird. A lot of people don't like him, but he does have the speed and he will be able to separate potentially. He needs to work on his ball skills, but that's going to be my pick 21.
Yeah, a lot of receivers out of TCU don't work out in the NFL. I personally would have gone wide receiver as well, but I would have gone with Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers more of a route runner. They want like a separator, in my opinion.
Yeah. And now the Ravens on the clock, your team.
Yeah, don't do me dirty.
I'm just curious. Who would you be picking?
It's so tough. A lot of people are saying Miles Murphy here. I want to give David Ajabo a chance because he was injured in the previous season. Jason Away was okay so far, and honestly, we do need receivers so bad, and we also need DB. But Odell's not going to be here for long. Rashad Bateman constantly gets injured. Mark Andrews can't do it by himself. I want some type of receiver. Anything really. If it was my choice, I would want Jordan Addison. But since he's not here, I would probably like Josh Downs over Zay Flowers in my personal opinion.
Okay, now with that being said, I'll make a deal with you. Since you took the last pick and the Ravens are now on the clock, you take this pick and then I take the Vikings and Jaguars.
Okay.
We got a deal?
Yeah, that's a deal. That's a deal for sure. So with that being said, I don't want Zay Flowers. I already said that. I'm going to go Josh Downs to the Baltimore Ravens here and have a true slot receiver. Sure, they could throw Odell in there, or Duvernay's not really a slot. He's more like a return man. But Josh Downs is going to the Baltimore Ravens at wide receiver. So now you get the Vikings, Jaguars, then we're going back to alternating picks.
And with this pick, this is exactly why I wanted you to take that deal. 23, the Vikings, I have them taking quarterback Hendon Hooker.
What the hell, dude?
Reasoning, they already talked about Kirk Cousins possibly leaving the team after this year. He's getting up there in age. He's still a great QB. He's a super underrated guy. People got to give him more than he deserves. However, he is getting up there in age. And Hendon Hooker, although he did come off the ACL injury, he's a great scrambler. He's a great QB. He learns behind Kirk Cousins, and they could have a future star for I don't know how long, since he's going to be 26 next year.
Yeah, you might as well take Stenson Bennett. The dude's old as hell. Anyways, 24, that's you as well.
Oh, my bad. I forgot again. Wow, this is interesting how the board fell. Brian Branch, Deontay Banks, Darnell Wright, all still on the board. The Jaguars, this is a really hard pick. This one.
Edge is something they don't need. I don't know why PFF says that. They have Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker.
Yeah, I don't get why they need edge. They don't, but since I don't see them taking any of these players that are available here, I'm going to have them going to inside offensive line. Go ahead and reach a little. Some people would call this a reach, but it's the Jaguars. They need to protect Trevor Lawrence. I have them going Florida guard Osiris Torrance.
Yeah, perfect. I would have done the exact same thing. He didn't allow a single pressure sack in the previous season. So, the Giants. There's a bunch of things they need. Brian Branch is here, which honestly would seem like such a perfect fit now that Julian Love is gone. They pair him with Xavier McKinnon. Deontay Banks wouldn't be bad. Ryan Brissett wouldn't be bad. Well, they have Dexter Lawrence now that I think about it. Man, honestly, Zay Flowers. I think that's just the go-to pick here. They need receiver. They cut Kenny Galladay, if I can actually say my words. But anyways, you got pick 26.
Cowboys on the clock. I'm scrolling right down to the man. Cowboys, I have, since a lot of these edge and defensive linemen have not been taking off the board, I would usually have the man Nolan Smith going here. He was taken very early at number 8. So with the Cowboys here, I'm going to have him going Myles Murphy.
Wow.
Adding a man next to Micah Parsons. Imagine Myles Murphy and Micah Parsons. That would be a very scary defense.
I mean, they have Dexter Lawrence, so I'd more like go Brian Brissett here, but that's still a good pick. Not Dexter Lawrence, I mean DeMarcus Lawrence. I said Dexter Lawrence, my bad. But anyways, the Buffalo Bills on the clock. Deontay Banks fell all the way this far. They need DB. I'm taking Deontay Banks. It's as simple as that.
That is a very good pick. And now with the Bengals here, I would always have them going Michael Mayer. However, Brian Branch fell this far. They lost Jesse Bates. I'm going to have the Bengals selecting Brian Branch out of Alabama with this pick.
Okay, that's a good pick. The Saints, this is always a weird one because they just need everything. Everyone's aging on their team. They're old. They missed their window to hit in the Super Bowl. I don't think Michael Mayer's going here. A lot of people have him on their mock. But Brian Brissett is here, and they don't really have much in defensive tackle. They already lost David Onyemata to the Falcons, so Brian Brissett fell all the way this far. I don't think he will in real life, but Brian Brissett to the Saints.
That's a great pick. And now with the Eagles on the clock, they went with the running back Bijan with their 10th pick, and they were hoping to get a corner. Unlucky that Deontay Banks went 27 to the Bills. However, they could reach a little. There's a lot of great corners in this year's class. Emmanuel Forbes, Cam Smith, Tyreek Stevenson. Or even, I'm going to take an underrated guy, that Bengal. People should go
Don't say
subscribe to
DJ
Bengal.
Turner.
Great YouTuber.
Don't you dare say DJ Turner, bruh.
Okay, I'll change my mind.
No, I'm kidding. No, you got it.
Bengal had this guy going in the first round in his last video. He 100%, he's a great corner. He's a speed demon. He 100% could go in the first round. I feel like the Eagles want a young, but also fast, great corner. So with this 30th pick, I have the Eagles selecting DJ Turner out of Michigan.
I really like DJ Turner as a Ravens fan. I'm hoping teams neglect his size and he somehow falls and the Ravens trade back up into the second or early third round to take him and we get a receiver in round 1. But he's a guy that I really like. I don't know if he's going round 1 just because what is he? He's 5'9". He's a pretty small guy.
Yeah, something like that.
But anyways, Chiefs on the clock with the final pick. They lost Orlando Brown Jr. There's not really many receivers on the board here. Sure, Nathaniel Dell is here. No, I'm not going to take him. Now, everyone's going to say Darnell Wright, Anton Harrison. No, I'm going with Dawad Jones out of Ohio State just because I feel like he has way bigger size. His arm length is long, and I feel like he's just a better tackle. So, Dawad Jones at pick 31, and that will be the mock draft. Anything you got?
It was a very great mock draft. Very fun.
Yes, sir. Looking back at it, are you on do you have the board right now on your?
Yes,
looking
I do.
at it, yeah. What do you like and not like specifically? I don't like how Will Levis fell, and I obviously don't like the Bijan pick, but that's you, bruh.
Well, I personally think Bijan definitely could be a top 10 pick. He's a great guy. He's a very unique person. I don't feel like they haven't seen a running back like him in a while. So the Eagles definitely could take him. Josh Downs in the first round before Zay Flowers was kind of crazy to me. And also DeJuan Jones taken at 31 before I forgot his name,
Darnell,
but the other
right,
tackle that was
Tennessee.
available. Yes. Also, Will Levis to the Buccaneers is kind of crazy. They have Baker Mayfield. They're going to roll with him for a year. If they don't like him, they got Kyle Trask, who they actually like, and
Kyle
he has
Trask
learned
ain't
behind
gonna do
Brady.
shit, bro.
They should give him at least a little shot, though. And taking Will Levis here, I don't know. The quarterbacks in this year's draft are decent. There's nothing special, like super special about them. They are decent.
I would say C.J. Stroud, in my opinion, is something special, and Anthony Richardson broke combine records, so little mixed opinions there, but yeah.
Another player we could see going in the first round that wasn't here. How about 2 running backs in the first round? Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama.
Absolutely
could
not.
happen.
Absolutely not.
Could happen.
Nah, I don't see that, bro.
I don't have it happening, but pro NFL analysts have had it, and it definitely could happen. This is the NFL. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, Raiders will probably do it because they always mess up their picks. They're probably going to give the middle finger to Josh Jacobs and just do some shit like that. But, yeah, anyways, man, this was a very fun video. And anything else you want to say before I end it out?
Go see my channel.
Yeah, go check out his channel. I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. But anyways, guys, thank you guys all for watching. If you did like this video, make sure you like and or subscribe. Of course, check out GC Sports channel. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.